Hey friends, we're continuing our .NET Core 101 series. This is the project that we've been working on. It is our bank account. We used it through our entire C# video series. And it's not necessarily the best bank in the world, but it's ours.
It's
And
our bank.
That's what matters.
It's our SuperBank.
It's our SuperBank. Now, this is in one project. And when we were doing this earlier, there was a couple of things that you commented on. First, that I was writing tests down here that we've commented out, and we'll deal with that in our video on testing. But basically, everything's in a big pile right now. And you had made the comment that maybe we should have a little structure to our project. Why is that important?
Right. Well, having good structure to your project is important because if you ever want to basically call that code later, if you want to reuse it, if you want to use it in a different project or reference it from a different project.
So in this case, we made an executable, what they call an exe, that people can run, but bank account and transaction are living kind of alongside it. And if I wanted to put this in an Android app or in a Raspberry Pi or something, I might want to make it a reusable library, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to do that, my project is going to become a solution, but isn't it already a solution? That's interesting. It says here, solution has one project. It's a little subtle there. I didn't even notice that. I thought I was opening the My SuperBank project.
Right, so a solution, or you might see a .sln file, is basically just a collection of projects. So this can help keep your projects organized, and all of that data is saved in the solution file.
So right here, if I go to the File menu and I click on Recent Projects and Solutions, you can see that My SuperBank Solution, SLN, is the thing that I opened. So I have a solution with just one project in it.
Right.
So that was interesting.
Let's go ahead and add a class library.
Okay, so I can do that a couple of ways. I can right-click on the solution. Notice this is important. I clicked on the project and I was looking for new. I can right-click on the solution and I can say Add New Project. Or I can go up to File and say Add New Project. But I'll do it this way. New Project. Now this is the same dialog box that we saw before when we made our console app. And there's lots of choices, and this can be a little bit overwhelming. That's why it's searchable. These are all the things you can make with Visual Studio. So you said a library?
Yeah.
Okay. So look, there's a class library for .NET Standard. And you notice that it says C# and all the different things that we can use it on, which is really cool. I can use this on iOS one day. So I'm going to hit Next. Okay, now it gave me the name Class Library 4. Now we had SuperBank. Is this like, what do we want to call this? Bank libraries or banky stuff?
That sounds good. Maybe my bank library?
I thought banky
or just
stuff.
bank library?
I think banky stuff.
Okay, well, we'll go with banky stuff.
All right, banky stuff library. We'll compromise.
Okay.
So we're a team. All right, so I'm going to say create. And then, oh, look at this. So now we have a different namespace, a class called class 1. But what happened over here? Is that a project?
Yeah, so My SuperBank was the project that we had before, and now we have right next to it a new project type that is a class library.
And now our solution, also called My SuperBank, has 2 projects, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So then if I click on class 1, I don't really need that. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Is that okay with you?
Okay with me?
So I'm going to right-click on that and say delete. And when I do this, this is important, it's really getting deleted, right? It's off the disk, it will be deleted. And that's why they're warning me about that. So that file is gone. Okay, now we're back over here. Which things should we move over into banky stuff?
Right, so we don't want to move main, because it doesn't make sense for a library to have a main method, because main is always the entry point of an app, and libraries don't actually need entry points because they're only ever called by other projects. So what we want to copy is anything we want in the library that we want to reuse. So we'll probably start with our transaction or bank account classes.
That's a really good point. I never thought about it like that. Your executable has an entry point because that's where it gets started. Libraries are just collections of useful things.
Yeah.
So they don't have entry points. Great point.
They're only ever called by other programs.
So I'm going to pick up transaction. I'm literally dragging it. And I'm going to drop it right on top of banky stuff library. Now this is interesting. It made a copy of it. See? If I pick up bank account, they're making sure that I don't hurt myself. But if I hold down the shift button, you see the difference there?
Oh yeah, one has a plus symbol.
Yeah, so
and when
by
you're not holding
default,
it-
they try to be helpful and not mess things up because they don't want you to lose your data or move it somewhere wrong. I'm going to hold down Shift, and it's going to say, really? Are you sure? This is moving something, because moving involves deleting and moving and copying, right? So I could say OK. So notice that bank account's up there, transactions there, but the transaction one that I had from before is copied, it's still down there. I'm going to delete that. Be very careful, I think it's fair to say, when you're moving things around, right?
Definitely.
Just be very conscious of that. But I will point out that I moved the files. I didn't copy paste the source code.
Right.
Do you think that you should copy paste source code if you, for between projects, or should you move files?
Ooh, interesting point. So I guess you'd want to copy and paste source code if it's just like a smaller snippet of code that you're trying to move into a different space where it'd make more sense.
Right.
But for a whole file, there's no need to Control All, copy the whole thing over, create a new file.
So my namespace, my SuperBank, does not match the name of my project, and I think it will be tidy. So I'm going to right-click and say Rename, Banky Stuff Library. Okay, and I'll make sure that, hey, I went back over to Bank Account, and it's the same. So when I right-clicked and said Rename, Visual Studio was smart enough to notice that I literally renamed the namespace itself.
The entire namespace, even across other files.
That's really cool. Now let's make sure I didn't mess anything up over here, and I did.
Definitely.
Because the entire namespace changed, so that's important. Now instead of right-clicking and saying rename, I'm just going to type. That way Visual Studio doesn't know what I'm doing. So my SuperBank is our executable, our program. Banky Stuff Library is our new library that's over here. Okay? What's with the squiggles?
So since we re-architected it, bank account was actually referencing, well, bank account itself was a type that used to be in the same project. Now that it's in a class library, we need to add a reference to that class library.
And right here it's going and saying, listen, I don't know what's going on. I'm actually going to click on hovering there, and you see the little idea there, light bulb. It says, well, I mean, I could make a new one. I could make a new type.
But we already have one.
Or look at this. It says, you know, you've got another one over here. Now, do you want me to do it this way, or should I do it manually?
Well, let's do it manually since it's easy to kind of discover this code fix.
Right, but it's good to point out that they would fix it for me. But let's, for the purposes of doing this, I'm going to go and click on Dependencies, because I want Banky Stuff Library to be a dependency of my SuperBank, right? So I'm going to say Add Reference. And look, it's the only other project.
Yeah, it'll show you all the projects in your current solution.
And I'll hit OK. And now it's going to appear underneath here as a project.
Yeah.
And then why didn't it get fixed? Well, it's because it needs to know about it. The using statement that we talked about, because it's not my SuperBank bank account, it's Banky Stuff Library bank account.
Yeah, so it's kind of a two-step process. You add the dependency, and then you add the using statement at the top of the files that are actually going to be using that dependency and importing all of the types in it.
And if we had gone and kept the namespace, and they were all in the same namespace, the same kind of named collection, then it would not require that using statement. So it said build succeeded. Can I run this? Do you think it'll work on the first try?
I've got a good feeling about it.
You feel good about this? All right, I'm going to hit
Maybe
Control F5. All right, cool. So this is interesting. We have an executable and a library that is used by the executable, and it was just a restructuring. It doesn't run any differently, but now it's setting us up for success for the future.
Right, so we could reuse this library as, for example, a NuGet package.
Ah, NuGet, that's weird.
Right, maybe we should explain that in the next video.
Stick with us.